Hi, good afternoon. My name is Jay Rothman, and welcome to Real People, Real Health. I am excited to be in a studio today and have my special guest. Her name is Kate Malvenan. Kate, welcome to the studio, coming in from Queensland, Australia.
Queensland, Australia. Woohoo! Good morning from me and good evening to you. So thanks for having me back, Jay. I'm excited.
It's always a pleasure to have you. You know, I've been following you now for many months, and for those of you that are joining us live, welcome to the show this afternoon. We're excited to have you if you're coming in from the United States, Canada, Australia, the UK, or even India, wherever you're coming in from. Please drop a note, a comment, so that we can welcome you into the show today. Mary Kelly, good to see you. My mom coming in from Boynton Beach, Florida. Karen Palmer coming in from California. Christopher James, not sure where you're coming in from, but good afternoon. You know, Kate, it's coming up almost just shy of a year ago. October is a special day in your life. Yeah. It's a day that changed everything for you. And for those of you that are not aware, you've been a guest on Real People, Real Health. This, in fact, is your third time in a studio. You just made history today. And so, right? Yeah, if I had a little crest or something, I'd gift it to you right now. But I'm gifting you through the words of congratulations. You are the first 3-time guest on Real People, Real Health.
Go Aussies, go Aussies, go Aussies.
So the reason you're invited back is because you, my dear, have been defying the odds from the first day you were told that you had a diagnosis that was pretty much untreatable, and perhaps you've got about 6 months to go home, get your life in order, and maybe this one drug maybe could extend your life up to 2 years, possibly. But there was no chemo, there was no radiation, and there maybe was not even any surgery that they can give to you. You were diagnosed with lung cancer that had metastasized. And so I would like to invite you to maybe go back a little bit and just touch on how it was and the journey, the path that you chose to take because you said, no, I refuse to accept this prognosis. Yes. And so,
okay. Well, thank you. That's you even you make my eyes prickle there because it does take me back to that time that they said there is nothing we can do for you. And then this information came from not only my GP, we've got a general practitioner, I think you call it an MD. So your MD, radiologist, oncologist, lung specialist, they all said, nothing we can do. They said, we're not going to give you chemo, palliative care only, but we're going to give you a medication. It's called alectinib. Now, around the world, it's got great reports, but this is only going to get you maximum 18 to 24 months. Without that drug, maybe 6 months. And I spoke to someone yesterday and they said even 6 months is quite, is pushing the boat out. It could almost be 3 months, really. So look, prognosis, 6 to 24 months. That's all we can do. And as you say, I said, no, hell no. I'm a solo parent to a little girl. She was 2 at the time. She's now 3. I met with a friend and said, look, there's a clinic. It's called Hope for Cancer. It's in Mexico. I've never been in Mexico. I've never heard about this clinic. I bumped into someone else and they said there's a clinic. It's called Hope for Cancer and it's in Mexico. So the Australian medical industry could do nothing for me. I said, take my lung out. I said, whatever you need to do, give me chemotherapy, take my lung out. They said, you're too far gone. There's no point doing it. Your quality of life would be reduced. You're not going to live. So within 2 weeks, I'd made my inquiries. I jumped on a plane and I arrived in Mexico, in Cancun, to this amazing clinic. So for those of you that don't know, within 3 weeks, 75% of my lung tumor had disappeared, reduced by 75%. The lymph nodes, I had 7 cancerous lymph nodes up here, all gone. No cancer in my lymph nodes. Everything else has started reducing, has started drying up. So that took us to the end of mid-November last year. Since then, I've been back to Hope for Cancer. And I'm at a stage now, I'm 10 months down. I'm 90 to 95% free of cancer. There's no cancer in my lymph nodes. There's no cancer in my liver. There's hardly any trace of cancer in my lung, which is my primary. So I believe it to be spotted still through my my bones, but it's reducing. They're drying up. It's very limited, the cancer there. So my aim, my drive, and my fight is to be cancer free within a year of diagnosis. So I've got 2 months to do that. So I've got work to do, Jay. So this is the last podcast I'm doing. I'm doing it with you because I love you so much, because I have work to do. So I'm dedicated to saving my life, for myself, and also for my child as well. Without me, she would formerly be an orphan. I'm a solo parent. So this is where we're at. I'm feeling 110%. I'm ready to take on the world, and become that, NED, cancer free.
When we got into the studio pre-show today, and we were chatting, and you and I have kept in touch offline through Messenger, through Instagram. We communicate on average maybe once a week or so, or
Absolutely.
two.
Yeah.
What I said to you is that I was very aware that something has changed. Something is different today than it was the last time we did a show together, which I think was before 8 days. It was late spring, I think, perhaps.
Well, yeah, was that June? I think it was June.
Okay, early summer. Yeah. Something has shifted for you. And what do you think it is? Because I know what it is.
It's that reassurance that, you know what? You're not going to die. I'm not going to die. I might die by a great white shark, or I might die by being knocked over by a bus or in a hang gliding accident. Cancer's not going to take me. So every visit I get to, Hope for Cancer, the results come in, again, incredible. They're amazing. I'm breaking the rules. They're remarkable. Dr. Tony Jimenez from the clinic recently gave me a CTC test. That test if there's any circulating tumor cells. Now, normally those people with stage 4 cancer, they don't kind of give that test because it's obvious they do. Well, you know what? I had that test. There are no circulating tumor cells in my body. I've had a PET scan, and even the radiation department here, radiology department, the best line on this report was excellent, near complete metabolic transformation, which means pretty much I'm pretty much almost cancer-free. So that's why you see a change, because my confidence is there. I've always said, why have I not been given a little bit of hope, a little bit of positivity, a little bit of compassion from the Australian medical industry here? It's just not been given, but I get that when I go to Hope for Cancer. So that hope has turned into resilience and power and just positivity. So yeah, you'll see a shift. You'll see a shift, because I know now. It's not that I'm hoping I'm going to be okay. I know I'm going to be okay. I know I'm going to be just fine.
Yeah, it's in your energy. You're strong. Not that you weren't before, but your energy level is significantly raised. And what I attribute that to is that it's a knowing.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that that you are healed, regardless of what the last test result shows. When it shows, you know that it's just a matter of semantics at this time.
Yes.
But
yes.
I feel you and your energy, and I know that it's like when a running back has got the football in his hand and he's running and he sees the end zone. He's 30 yards, he's 20 yards, he's 10 yards, and he's got 3 guys chasing him, and he's got 1 guy cutting him down at the knees, but he sees the end zone. And he knows in that moment the difference between a professional and one that doesn't quite make it to that level is they know what they have to do to get that touchdown. They know what they have to do to jump or leap or fly into the end zone and just slam that ball down and say touchdown.
Slam it down. Yeah, but I know what I've got to do. So I suppose what I have done, which might be slightly different to other people, is I've continued the therapies, the treatments, the protocol that I was given from Hope for Cancer. So as I say, I've dedicated my life to saving my life. 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, I go into treatments. I take my little girl to kindy and I say, Mummy's off to work now. Mummy doesn't go to work anymore because I don't work. I work at saving my life. This is the life that the Australian medical industry said they cannot save. There's nothing we can do for you. And I said, rubbish. Or in what we say, bollocks. We said, buggery bollocks. That's not going to happen. I am going to live and I'm going to show you. So, you know, I do IVs. I do infrared saunas. I do colonics. I eat organic food. It's all the whole thing. But I'm dedicated and I'm determined. And I've always been determined to be a mum for my little girl for a very, very long time. So I've got that determination. And I said just off camera, I said, cancer has given me, and it's a really weird thing to say, but cancer has given me more than it's taken away. You know, at the very start, it was fearful. It was fearful. And I did think I was going to die until I got to Hope for Cancer. But now it's given me that resilience. It's given me that power. It's given me that energy. It's turned me into this mother lion. And I'm here to take care of my cub. And I dare anyone to step in my way and try and stop me. So yeah, I'm that football player you speak of, and I'm also that lioness we speak of as well. So I'm determined.
I would like to jump back. You said a little bit earlier that you mentioned that when you go to the treatment center in Australia, you get a different type of welcome mat that's rolled out for you than you receive at Hope for Cancer. Why do you think that is, and what is lacking at the traditional care facility that the average person shows up at?
They lack empathy. They lack humility. They lack kindness and care, encouragement. You know, I get the calls still saying, hey, can we offer you palliative care? Can we offer you palliative care? Have you seen me? Have you seen how well I look? You know, have you got any idea? I've just been traveling the world for 10 weeks with my little girl, Mexico, Morocco, France, you know, Europe. I don't need palliative care. And I almost get offended by that. So they just see me as a statistic, as a number on a healthcare card. And I'm more than that. I'm way more than that. As a you and that person there who's listening and that person there who's listening. So I get no encouragement. I get no, look at you, don't you look well? How's that beautiful little girl of yours? Or how are you feeling right now, Kate? Do you want to spend the time and talk to us about what's going through? They brush me off. They go, oh, she's here again. I'm sure they don't like me. And you know what? I don't like them. So we have a mutual agreement, really. So yeah, I you know, and even if I was dying, I still want someone to hold my hand through that and just say and be there for me. And we don't get that. We don't get that. That's why I go to Hope for Cancer, because that's where I get it. I get that one-on-one experience. I get that love. I get that care, that hope. I get that, you know, that arm around my shoulders going, you know what, you're going to be okay. And yeah, I am going to be okay. I'm going to be better than okay. I'm going to be amazing.
How has your life changed since the day that you were given the news that you were given? When I say how has your life changed, let's kind of dig in a little bit.
Yeah.
How have you changed?
Oh, I am a happier, healthier version of Kate because I've had to be. So my outlook is so positive. People say, but you must have a dark day, Nanny. You must have a down day. Not one in my life have I had since October. Yes, I thought I was going to die in October. Now I know I'm not. So when you are given that death sentence, when you are told you're going to die and then suddenly you're going to live, your outlook changes. So I'm much brighter, happier, healthier, smilier. I want to help people. I do a lot of charity work now to help others get to Hope for Cancer in Mexico as well, because I want other people to understand the difference in the care. I want other people to understand that there are alternate therapies and holistic therapies and integrative therapies, because it's not really known about here in Australia. So I'm more giving of my time, sometimes too giving of my time. I'm doing probably far too much charity work at the moment. I need to pull back and just concentrate on myself and my daughter at the moment. But yeah, it's how I've changed. I've changed for the better, without doubt.
As far as are you familiar with Chris Walk?
Crispy cancer. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do any research. This is probably my saving grace. I hear people that say, oh, I've read 30 books, I've read 40 books. You know what I've read? 0, because I don't want to know statistics. I don't want to know the ins and outs. I'm only dealing with my cancer. So I have heard of him, and I know he does amazing things.
Yeah, I asked because we own his book. I haven't read it yet, but Mary has completed it, and she shared some parts and pieces within the book with me. And but she's got me. I'm a fan. We've watched a lot of his videos, a lot of his YouTube, a lot of his work. He just did a free series, a 10-day series that's now available for sale for a very reasonable price. I think it's under $100. But I asked because I believe it was in his book that he said that the reason that people die from cancer is because, and I'm paraphrasing him, so I'm not getting it 100% correctly, but what I interpreted it to mean was that we are, by nature, we're lazy, and we're not willing to do the work. Just give me the chemo, give me the irradiation, give me the surgery, and then hope that works. But you chose a different path because you really weren't given chemo and radiation as a choice. They said you were too far gone. But understanding what Chris meant by those words, that we are lazy as people, the work, what you have done to help save your life, do you really describe it as work? And what has that, does it feel like work? Has it felt like work? If so, why? And if not, why not?
No, I don't think it doesn't feel, I mean, some days it does. It's like, oh, I don't want to have to go and do a coffee enema and go and eat some, a plate of broccoli. I want to go to the beach and drink a cider and have a big fat chicken sandwich, but I can't do it. So occasionally, but no, it doesn't feel like work. Australia has got behind me. You know what? Part of the world has got behind me, and they're supportive. Through my Instagram page, I have a huge following. Everyone is just so delightful, and they're cheering on from the sideline. So it doesn't feel like work at all. I just feel like I'm starting a movement here, and people are jumping on board. And I know that me telling my story is saving lives. So it doesn't feel like work, really. I mean, look, I have a schedule, and I start at 8 in the morning, and I go till 12, and I know that I have to do this treatment and that treatment and that. So sometimes it is, but I've got a happy balance. I try not to do things on the weekend, and I have fun with friends and family. And so no, it's not really work. And if it was work, well, so be it. I'm happy to work hard because the results are showing, the results are here, and they speak for themselves. So
yeah.
no.
So for those that don't understand that, when you were in treatment for the series of 3 times, I hope for cancer, each time you left, you basically left with a protocol. You had a blueprint. You left with a GPS, a navigation system that just because you left treatment doesn't mean that you're now in a holding cell or holding pattern.
No.
Waiting for test results or waiting for a potential another treatment series. But you were given a blueprint to go home and continue treatment for yourself to heal, to reverse the disease.
Well, exactly. So these are things but it's an education. I was educated to do these things. So it's not that I was told you have to go home and do this. It's not, well, hang on. If this is how we're being treated at the center, let me continue as much of this. So I suppose a slight point of difference for me is that I am very gung-ho in this. So some people are very at ease with their cancer. They're very relaxed. They will look, it's not moving, it's not doing anything, it's not growing. And I'm like, no, get this bastard out of my system right now. So this is why I'm like a dog with a bone. It's like, get this gone right now. So every day I wake up, and that's my motivation, and I'm a power force with that. So that's why I will go and have my own. I'll find somebody that does infrared saunas because I know that detoxes my body. I know that I have a colonic once a week because that gets the toxins out of my body. I do a coffee enema every single day because that's so. It's an education. What they have taught me, I am repeating in my own world, in my own life, I suppose, until the next time I go back, and then we just continue. So Look, I'm happy with the way I've staged it and planned it, I have to say. And if anyone
Beautiful.
else, and often I'll try and motivate other people. And they go, "Oh, you're much more motivated than me." Well, get off your ass and do it then, because no one else can do it for you. You have to do it. So when people say, "Look, and they send me photos of themselves juicing every day, and I love seeing that. Or I'm going to this therapy every day, and I want to see that. So it can be done. I'm walking, talking, living proof that it can be done, and you can be healed.
Yes. Yes. And yes. Yes.
Yes.
Healed. You
Healed.
got it. You know,
Healed.
I got to tell you that you said something before, and I'm going to come back on it right now. You said, what I heard you say, I'm going to paraphrase you, is you have a different purpose today. You have a different purpose than a year ago, just under a year ago.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
a year ago, you had a retail store. You were running a business, and you just had a 2-year-old beautiful little girl named Annabelle, but you were also going through some significant life wounds, some life challenges
Yeah.
that had led to this diagnosis per se. But the work what has come out of this experience for you is not only that you chose to live and not die. You chose to say no, no, no to the diagnosis and prognosis for sure. But you have a different purpose today. You said that you are of service to others. You know
Yes.
that by you showing up for yourself and focusing on getting healthy and remaining healthy is inspiring millions of people around the globe. You have
Right.
followers today, people that are watching you very closely, like a little child that's watching their parents' behavior more so than their words. We think that if we just speak the words, our kids they'll fall in line and they'll be okay. But the kids are really watching our behavior more than where they're watching what we say. And so you show up every day. Not only do you do what you have to do to heal, but then you post it a lot. You have a very open book in your healing journey. And what that does is that it inspires other people that may have not been had the motivation or the inspiration to show up and heal, whatever the disease, whatever the diagnosis is. I suspect, Kate, that even when you have the final affirmation that 100% you are disease free, that I suspect your work may never be done.
Look, I think so. I think so. I think I feel my life has been saved. I've been given so much. I've been given positivity, and I've been given hope, and I've been given, so much that I feel it's my dedication now, and it's my job to give back to others, and not just cancer patients, not just people with cancer, but I know a lot of people are getting on the organic train and the vegan train and the holistic train. So if I can help to save other lives, that's nothing feels better than that. Nothing really, I don't think. So this is why I am so dedicated and passionate about letting everyone know about this clinic that I've gone to, about the therapies that I'm doing, the treatments that I'm doing. And yeah, my page is an open book. So probably too open sometimes, but I will discuss the ins and outs of anything and everything, because I know it helps. So that's, I don't know where things are going to go from here. I don't think I just become, I get NED, no evidence of disease. That's what we call it, the formal term. I don't think I just stop and go back to normal life. I think this has changed me and changed the direction. I'm not sure where my life is going to. Some amazing things have come through my journey, some amazing, incredible, and it hasn't stopped yet. There's some more exciting things to come, which I'll be quiet about for now. But yeah, I will continue to help if I can. If people want me to help, then I'm there for them for sure.
What is the number one thing you learned about yourself through this experience? What would you say is the biggest takeaway about who you are?
How bloody powerful I am, and how resilient I am, and how much love I have for my little girl. It wasn't me doing this for me. I mean, I spent a lot of money doing this. This doesn't come for free. I spent an awful lot of money getting myself to where I am. And initially, we think, I'm not worthy of that. I can't spend tens of thousands of dollars getting myself service. I'm probably not worthy of that. But then I look at my little girl who was 2. She's now 3. She's the apple of my eye. She's the most important person in my life. And I say, you know what? I can't do it for me, but I'm bloody well going to do it for her. So that's it. And this is just, that's it. I'm powerful. I know that. I'm powerful, and I will not be stopped.
And I know that it's not even a 1% question in your mind.
No.
It's not a thought. It's an innate feeling. You feel it at the deepest heart soul level, right?
Yeah.
It's like there's no stopping us now.
There's no stopping us now. So I had a TV crew with me yesterday, and you probably know, I don't know if I should say this on international podcast, but I'm going to say it. You know that cannabis is illegal in this country. I went with a TV crew and I did a drug deal, and they sat there in the car with me with my drugs. They said, do you make apologies for what you're doing here now? And I said, no. And they said, are you frightened of the police doing this, what you're doing? No, I'm not. I'm saving my life along the way. No one is going to stop me from getting to NED. So whatever I need to do, I will get there. So no, there's not even a 1%, not even a 1.0.1 point. There's nothing. No, I'm 100% going to be 100% healed.
From your knowledge and understanding today of having got some education and new awareness, there are people that go into remission and or affirm that they are healed, they are disease free.
Yep.
Yet something changes 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road. And a lot of the times the disease comes back, and it comes back stronger, angrier, more violent.
Yeah.
What is your understanding? What separates those that 5 years are not part of that?
We let ourselves go again because we get into that safety net. We go, woohoo, I'm clear, brilliant. Okay, let's go down the pub, have a couple of pints, go to Macca's and have a burger. No. The way I am right now, and the way those people are that are almost cancer-free, this is how we have to continue now. This is a life change. This isn't let's just change until we get to the finish line. The finish line isn't until we die when we're 80, 90 years old. That's the finish line. So we have to continue. We have to keep healing. So even when, I'm not going to say even when I become cancer-free or NED, I will continue on my treatments and my therapies and my supplements. Not every day, not 5 days a week, no way. But I will continue, and I will top up, and I'll continue, maybe once a year heading to Hope for Cancer in Mexico and doing another top up, doing another round. So it doesn't just stop. We mustn't allow ourselves, the word is complacent. Let's not become complacent. So yeah, go out, have a party, drink a bottle of red wine, and go, wow, I've done fantastically well, but get back on the bandwagon and just continue. It's a life change now.
Beautiful. Love the answer. It was a setup question, Kate. I set you up. I was talking to my oldest son just a couple of days ago. He's actually today heading to Malaysia for a trip, but he asked me, he said, so Dad, when you are 100% healed, because he's aware of the journey I'm on right now for healing. Yeah. He said, are you excited to go back to eating the breads and eating all the foods you used to enjoy?
Never.
And he's right where he's at, and I love that boy to death. He's going to be 30 in September, but what he doesn't know, what he doesn't know, and what he doesn't understand is that I don't miss how I used to live, because how I used to live almost took me out. I mean, it was abuse. I misused food. I abused how I ate. I had a food addiction. And I love comfort food, and growing up in New York, there was a lot of food to comfort on. Not that there's not good food anywhere you live, but I had that New York food craving, and all the delicious stuff that came along with that. That a lot of it's not healthy, and I overdid it. I ate it in abundance, and so what he doesn't understand is that I don't see it as I've given up anything. What I have is I gained life. What I have is I gained energy. I'm 58 years old. But I tell you what, I hike every single morning, 365. And when I'm not hiking, I'm walking. And when I'm not walking, I'm hiking every day. I do twice, sometimes 3 times in a day.
Wow.
And it's not because
you're an addict. You're a
it's
hiking
not
addict.
because I'm eating pasta, and it's not because I'm eating the breads that I used to eat as a meal. It's because I'm showing up. It's because I made the changes in my life that gave me my life back and continue to give me the energy to push forward and a breakthrough, and perhaps maybe be the first in the world to heal from a rare blood disease called APS. That's my goal. That's my end line. That's my end zone. That's me. Right now, I'm at the 20-yard line, and I only got 20 more to go. I feel it like you do, Kate.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's a life change. It's knowledge. It's education. Yeah, we have to be good to ourselves, be good to our bodies, be good to ourselves. You know, it's let's feed ourselves with good, organic, fresh produce. We're not made to eat burgers and nuggets and wraps and sweet sticky sauce and ice cream. We're not made for that. We're supposed to be eating beautiful, fresh fruit and vegetables, which is in season. That's how our ancestors ate. That's how we need to eat as well. So yeah, the more we can spread the word on that. Food is your medicine. Medicine is your food. It really can be. It can help us heal for sure.
Love it. Beautiful. Love that statement. I want to switch gears here and jump into the relationship. And the relationship I'm talking about is the relationship that you have. Now, I think you think I'm going somewhere, but I'm not going there yet. But the relationship I'm talking about is the one that you have established with the diagnosis you were given. Could you touch on that a little bit? I believe you even named the cancer that you were diagnosed with. Tell me a little bit about that part of your story.
Probably named it arsehole, to be honest. No, I haven't named it, but I have personified my cancer. This is how I deal with it. I've personified my cancer. My cancer is male. It doesn't have a name. He's male. He's very, very big, and he is very strong, but he's not as quick as me, and he's not as smart as me. So every time I get those results from Hope for Cancer in Mexico, and they say, look, you know, you're another step towards healing, I go, wham. My cancer got a big fat kick in the balls. It really did. And I love it. And I just feel like saying, got you, buddy. You know, I'm in a boxing ring, and we've got cancer in the blue corner. We've got Kate in the red corner, and slam dunk, you're out of here, buddy. So that's how I deal with mine. Everybody deals with their cancer differently. Some people talk to their cancer, they ask it to leave. Some people want to poison their cancer with the good things that they take in. Mine just I don't acknowledge it every day. I mean, it's there, but I don't say good morning, how are you, and and off you go on your merry way. But every time I get good results, I go, yeah, boom, that's a win for Kate.
I love that. You know, one of the tools that I have embraced in my healing journey is it's referred to as biohacking. Biohacking is when we basically we rewire our thoughts, our thinking, our brain. We rewire how we think about ourselves, the thoughts that go through our minds, our fears, our worries, our concerns, and we retrain our brain, our mind, I should say, how to talk to ourselves. Yeah. And so for some people, if we're dealing with, let's say, emotional wounds and scars and traumas from past experiences in their life, it's learning how to talk to ourselves in a healthier way. So instead of feeling less than, I'm not smart enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm just not enough. It's learning how to retrain our thoughts so that we stop talking and thinking about ourselves in that negative energy, that low.
We all do it. Yes.
The low vibration. And so what I have encountered, what I've embraced is Dr. Joe Dispenza in his own way taught me this technique of, now his whole thing is creating this visual of healing of what your body, when he broke his 6 vertebrae in a bicycle accident, he opted out of surgery and went home in his wheelchair. And by the 9th, 10th week, he was out of the wheelchair because he created a visual exercise where he rebuilt his vertebrae over 9 weeks in his mind. And by the 10th week, he was out of that wheelchair. By the 11th week, he was on his bike. And by the 12th week, he was riding again. And I took that to heart, and all pun intended. And I created my own visual of what my blood flow could look like. And eventually I bypassed the bypass to my leg. when my bypass was occluded 100%, they determined I had created new vessels, new collateral blood flow from my hip down to my toes. Otherwise, I'd be in a wheelchair today. Instead, I'm hiking every day with a bypass that's still there, but it's 100% blocked.
Love it. Love it.
It doesn't
Yeah.
mean I'm pain free. I hike through pain every day. My pain level is between a 6 and a 9. And there are days where I feel like I'm almost dragging my leg up the trail, or if I'm rock climbing. But I show up every day like you do. And part of that is the biohacking part. And what I mean by that is I actually have a relationship with APS today. And a relationship I have with APS, many of those in the community that are watching us live or on replay, you've watched me, you've heard me, you've done it with me. I go into no. I talk to APS. I affirm no more. And then I go to yes. I am healed. Yes. And then I invite APS to say, APS, thank you so much. Thank you so much for teaching me all that I needed to learn. But it's time. It's time for you to go. I release you today. Yes. And it's just, I go through this whole cycle, this whole biohacking, strong words. I'm not thinking it. I'm actually saying it out loud as I'm on this trail, and people are walking by me, they're hiking by me, and some of them are looking at me like, who is this guy? Like, why is he saying, right? But you know what? Other people are just inspired. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what those that think I'm maybe crazy, or I didn't take my meds, or maybe I took the wrong meds. I'm there for me. I'm there to heal. I'm there to release the disease that no longer serves me in my life. I am truly grateful. Without APS, you and I wouldn't be here today. Without APS, I wouldn't be doing the work I'm doing. I wouldn't be of service to others. I wouldn't be inspiring other people that through the courage to change, we can have a life beyond our wildest dreams.
Yes, we can.
I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have a reason to be doing this work. Would I say that I'm glad I got APS? No, I'm not glad that I got it, but I'm grateful that I have learned and I have grown. I'm grateful that I'm right where I'm at, because I know that it's just a matter of time. As long as I keep showing up with my protocol, biohacking, doing my visuals, showing up, doing my nutrition, drinking my water, doing my juicing, eating my organic vegetables and fruit, and releasing toxic people, places, and things that no longer serve me in my life, has blessed me with a new way to live today, and it's called freedom.
Yep, beautiful.
How
beautiful.
free?
Amen to that. Amen
How
to that.
free? How free are you today, Kate? How free do you?
I'm free as a bird, Jay. Free as a bird. Yeah, I'm free. I'm free. No doubt about it.
Let's talk about. I want to just touch real briefly on last time you were in the studio. We chatted a little bit about what it is that you thought. If I asked you if you had any idea of what triggered, what turned on the cancer cells to really just kind of grow throughout your body. For those that may have not been with us on the last show, I'd like for you to just touch briefly on, from your perspective, what was the trigger? What was the turn on? Yeah,
without any doubt in my mind, it was a very toxic marriage breakdown. My husband started using drugs, became addicted to drugs. He's left our family. He's been living on the streets at the time. We haven't had connection for 2 years. I loved that man beyond belief, beyond anything I've ever felt before. We were so connected. We were so in love. We were best of friends. We were just connected. We were those people that go, oh God, we're just in a love bubble. You know, we were that couple. So to go from that to, and I call it losing him. I lost my husband to a drug addiction. My daughter and I haven't seen him, as I say, for 2 years now. So that has been going for over 3 years. The loss, the heartbreak, the grief, the sadness, the resentment. I've had times where I was suicidal, certainly medically depressed. All of that without my knowledge. They say you hold grief and sadness in your lungs. At 39, a gym goer, a fit woman was told you have terminal lung cancer. So without a doubt, that's where it came from. So my sadness and my grief, and it was growing inside my lung, and it was just bouncing around my body, and I wasn't living healthily. You know, I was going to the gym and things, but I was sipping down the white wine because I was depressed. So every night I've got a baby or a 2-year-old here. She'd go to bed. My best friend was a glass of wine. Wine holds a lot of sugar, so every night I've got this cancer which I don't know about. I'm polishing off a bottle of wine which is feeding the cancer, and it would just go round and round and round and round. So without doubt, it was the emotional state. It wasn't my body that failed me, it was my mind, my spiritual, my spiritual senses. So from that, a lot of the healing has come from emotional release, emotional grief healing. It's the physical side of it, but it's also the emotional side of it as well. 100%, that's my belief.
Where are you in your process today of healing?
I'm much further along the track than I was. So I've been seeing a counselor for a couple of years, once a week, and he's phenomenal. But which leads me to I'm sure you want to talk about it, the show,
yes.
8 Days.
Yes.
I met with a wonderful man called Rodolfo, and he is a world-class healer with emotional. He opened my heart to discuss my concerns, and he released a lot of grief for me. So much so, he's seen that I've got a bit of a reach on social media. He's coming to Australia from Mexico in 2 weeks' time to do some healing throughout Australia. So he's doing some sessions here. So I'm just really pushing that and promoting that because he's phenomenal. He's allowed me to move forward and put this nasty chapter behind me. It'll always be there. We can't blank out negative things that happen to us, and we all, I feel, have had trauma and have grief, whether that's infidelity, loss, whatever it was, death. We've all felt something, so we all have trauma, and we all need to let go of a lot.
You mentioned 8 days. You were invited to participate in a reality show, the first of its kind in, I believe, globally speaking.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the show and about the experience for you beyond Rodolfo.
Yeah. Okay. So this was an incredible invite. I got invited to be flown back to Cancun, Mexico, to be put in a house. We were filmed for 8 days, hence the title of the show, 8 Days. The producer is called Charles Maddox. He's an Emmy Award nominee. He happens to be Bob Marley's nephew. He's an American guy. He produced it in conjunction with Hope for Cancer. So they flew in 5 cancer, I won't say cancer patients, I hate that word, cancer fighters. One was from Australia, that was me. There was a gentleman who was a pastor from LA. There was a beautiful nurse called Carrie from Arizona who was flown in, and 2 other lovely participants. Two of the ladies were filmed doing their journey through the clinic. So they would get up in the morning, they'd have a TV crew there and show us doing the treatments throughout the day and the process of how this goes about. The rest of us were situated in a house in Cancun, and it shows how we now live life. So we would do yoga, we would do cooking classes, we would do we would do group therapy sessions with a psychologist. It would just show the insights of how we live, how we think. It was almost like Big Brother, but with less sex and alcohol. Really, we showed everything. It was an incredible experience. I'm very flattered and honored and feel very blessed to have been part of it. There's a lot of love in that house. The show will go to air on 4th of January 2020 in the United States on FYI network, which isn't familiar to me, but maybe you guys know that one. So the show will save lives. It will save a lot of lives. It will be aired to millions and millions of people, hopefully globally. And it's really one to watch. So I'm really, really happy to have been part of that. It was phenomenal.
It sounds like you just didn't show up and the cameras were rolling, but there is actually some significant value for you that came forward in that experience. Again, another growth opportunity. You mentioned Rodolfo did some significant heart work with you, opening up and releasing. That's such a beautiful gift that people they aspire to be on a reality show or get on TV, and it's all about the show. And it sounds like this was anything but a show. This was real.
This is real life, and this is gonna, as I say, it's gonna be helping millions of people around the world. So it's certainly one to watch. Yeah, it talked about how we all got into this position with cancer. It talked about our hopes, our dreams. Talked about how we continue our treatments back home. This is a show not to big note, the producers and the directors and the show itself. This is to show people how we live, how we survive, and not how we survive, how we thrive as well. So it was amazing. I didn't realize I was going to take so much from it, I have to say. I've been traveling the world for 10 weeks with my daughter, and I was like, oh, I've got to go to the TV show. But it was an absolute blessing. It was incredibly positive for me, I have to say. I met beautiful people, made wonderful connections, and more so, it's helping people.
Beautiful, beautiful. I wanted to share with you. I was speaking to an old friend of mine. Not that he's old chronologically, but our friendship goes over, I think, about a decade and a half now. And we hadn't talked in some time, and about a year or so, and we reconnected. And he shared the news with me that he was just diagnosed with cancer. He's the third male friend of mine that was diagnosed with prostate cancer in the last 5 years. And it just strikes me how why I don't know yet. I haven't done my own research why 3 men in my life, all 3 diagnosed with the same type of cancer. But he's in the exploratory stage. He's not. He didn't jump right into traditional care treatment through Western medicine, but he is with a beautiful woman who is a little bit more expanded in her understanding and knowledge of alternative care. And so they're doing a lot of research right now. What would you say to my friend or anyone else that right now is at the beginning stages of just having received a diagnosis of any type of cancer, any stage of cancer? What would you say to them as far as?
Well, I can tell you quite literally. So just before you and I went on air, 2 minutes before, a friend of mine called and said, my mum's just been diagnosed with leukemia. She's been taken into the hospital. They want to start doing chemo today. And what I did say to her, was, hold off. I'm not going to tell anyone not to do chemo, radio. Everyone has their own choice. It's their own path. I would say hold off for 2 days, for a week. That cancer's been in her body for a very long time. Hold off and do some research and do some thinking and look into the other avenues that may be available. That's what I would say. And once you're confident with the choices you're going to go in and make sure you do it by grabbing the bull by the horns. Make sure, I'm confident with this. This is the direction I want to go in. This is the one that I feel more comfortable in, and go in full force. If my best friend came to me right now and said, hey, look, I've got cancer, I would be grabbing her hand, booking a flight, getting on a plane to Cancun, Mexico, and taking her to the clinic that I go to. And then anyone else I know, any relative of mine, anyone I would say, right, get right there. I can't say that to the world. I can't say because I'm healed, it will heal you. I don't know if it will or not, but that's for everybody else to make that decision, isn't it? So for me, it has saved my life, no doubt about it. And it is saving tens of thousands of lives. So I would say do some research. What I don't do, I don't read books. I don't want to know the statistics of my cancer. I did have a look once. I think I had a 4% chance of seeing a year. And from then on, I closed the book and I said, I'm never going to look again. So I don't do a lot of research into cancer itself. I don't need to know about my cancer. I just need to know how to heal it. And for healing for me, Hope for Cancer Mexico.
What about those, at least in the United States, there's a lot of fear around going to Mexico because of crime in Mexico. Did you hear that coming in from Australia?
I suppose so. I think we've all heard about, I don't know, the cartel and drug warfare, and I didn't see a thing at all. It's a holiday destination. It's full of Americans. There's hardly any Mexicans there in Cancun. So they've got 2 clinics, one in Tijuana, one in Cancun. Tijuana might be a bit different. I don't go there. I go to Cancun. It's full of nightclubs and bars, and it's a holiday destination. It's got 5-star hotels. You're on the Caribbean Ocean, white sand, blue seas. I haven't heard of any negativity. I'll walk down the road at night on my own. I feel very, very safe there. So I'd say get over there. And you know what? But the clinic has you protected. So they pick you up in a beautiful car from the airport, and they take you to your 5-star hotel. In the morning, they pick you up in a car and they take you to the clinic door to door. In the afternoon, they pick you up in the car and they drop you back to your hotel. So anyone that is scared, you're only there for the clinic. You're either going to be in your 5-star hotel in the Hyatt on the beach, or you're going to be at the clinic. So, but I'm an adventurer. I get on the local buses. I go downtown. I eat, street food. I enjoy my time there. I really do. So there's no fear. There's no worry about it.
Okay. What about, from your perspective, there are millions of people that are diagnosed with cancer, and they may be open to consider alternative treatment.
Yeah.
Until they find out there's a significant cost associated if they want to be managed by a treatment center,
Yes.
like Hope for Cancer.
Yes.
Do you think that there's a third choice?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
Yes.
what is the third choice?
Sorry, I probably jumped in there. Yeah, so you go traditional, you go to your local hospital, or you spend a lot of money and you go to a clinic like I did, or once you know what you need, there's a new following now. People are using off-label drugs. So there are books out there. One, it's called How to Starve Cancer. That's a lady that starved her cancer. She had no money, so she did it with what she could find. So there is another opportunity, but you need that knowledge of how to. You need to know how you're doing it, how to do it, and what you're doing. So there are ways. I'm happy with the way I chose. I'm happy I went to that clinic. I'm happy I've had that education. They've educated me for life now, not for 3 weeks. They've educated me for life, and I think that's key for me.
What's key for you, Kate, if I may, and I'm going to paraphrase something that the founder of Hope for Cancer, Dr. Antonio Jimenez, said, is that there are patients that show up at the clinic, and when they leave and they dust and clean the room, they remove the mattress and the box spring. And they find Cheetos and Doritos between the mattress pad.
Yeah.
Not everybody that walks in truly wants to live. I don't know why they even go. If they're going to put the money out in US dollars, it's about $44,000. Australian dollars, I think it's about 65K. But why would you spend $44,000 for treatment over 3 weeks to get on a healing path, yet you show up not ready to do? You don't show up.
If you're in, you got to be all in. You got to be all in. And then those are the people that go home and don't survive and go, well, the clinic didn't cure me. No, you didn't cure you. You didn't. Then we're sorry, not allowed to use that word cure. You didn't back yourself. So we are responsible for our own actions, our own thoughts, our own productivity. So if you're in, you're all in. Give it 110%. You're educated on how to think. You're educated on how to eat. You're educated on how to take your medication. You're educated on how to live life. I don't have toxins in my house. I have a lovely lady who just walked in the door to clean my house, the beauty of live broadcast. So my cleaner, we use non-toxic products in the house. I use non-toxic products on my skin. We don't like candles that aren't anything but 100% soy. So, the bigger picture. So if you're in, you're all in. Unless you're all in, don't bother. Save yourself 45 grand and go and buy a flash car or something. You won't live long, but you'll have a very nice car.
Well, take a long vacation and maybe you'll heal that way. People do that too. They just take 6 months or a year and they just travel the world. And by the time they come home, they're cancer free. And the doctor's like, wow, how the heck did that happen? It must have been a misdiagnosis. Well, that usually is not how that happens. But, I
if only
love.
it were that easy, Jay. If only it were that easy, right? I'm off to I'm off to Spain for 6 months. I'll come back cancer free. Maybe, it might happen for some. But again, that comes down to the emotional well-being. To live life, to feel energized, to be happy and feel good. That's got a lot to do with healing cancer.
We went organic about a year and a half or so ago. And it wasn't until really recently that the light bulb went on and we were like, wait a minute. It wasn't me. It was Mary. She said, wait a minute. We still have all these cleaning chemicals in a home.
Yes.
Like, it's just like, how did we miss that part of this formula for healthy living. And so within a week, all the chemicals were out of the home, and now she only buys cleaning solutions that are chemical free, that are.
And but we have to. I mean, you've got to look at the bigger picture. We've got to look about where we. I mean, eating out's very. I mean, I don't know about you. Eating out's very hard to eat organically and eat vegan in our country. So the best food you're going to have is the stuff that you have gone to the farmers markets, you've shopped for it, you've prepared it yourself. Mine is always washed in alkaline distilled water. You know, I know that my washing liquid is organic, non-toxic. So, I mean, I used to do a lot of business in Bali, Indonesia, but it's so toxic, it's so polluted. I won't go to that country now. So I don't do business there because they burn the tires off in the, behind the hotel, or they're spraying deep for the mosquitoes. So you've got to think about the bigger picture. It's not just in your home as well. It's where you walk, it's what you drive, it's everything. So, and often I try and avoid people, I mean, people smoking down the street. I can't have that, man. I've got lung cancer, so I'll cross the other side of the street if I need to. You've got to think, really delve deep and think back to the bare bones of it all. So, well done on the cleaning product. Well done, Mary, on their cleaning products. It's very important. Very important.
Yes. I love that. Dr. Wolfson, Kelly Goris from Heal Documentary was in the studio last week, and she came in with Dr. Jack Wolfson, and we talked heart health and healthy living, and he really honed in on, it's not just the food we eat, but it's also the environment. You touched on it, it's all aspects of life. It's people, places, and things, and toxicity can come from all three. And it doesn't mean that we have to live in fear. It doesn't mean that we don't get out. It just means that we make different choices, healthier choices for ourselves that we didn't realize that we even had available to us.
Yes, absolutely. And and it doesn't have to be a massive shift that you do overnight. It might be, okay, well, let's look at the cleaning cupboard. And then it might be, let's look at our Facebook friends list. Those people that are negative, that are toxic, that bring us down. You know what? Give them a flick. So we do this over time, have a time frame. Say, okay, this is what I'm going to do this week, and this is how I'm going to get myself to a happier, healthier place.
Okay. Speaking of happy and healthy, Kate, because we're just about out of time, and I want to respect your day. Thank you so much for coming in so early morning from Australia. I'd like to invite you to perhaps share some closing thoughts. Maybe there's one person or more that needs to hear something that resonates with them, that may actually change and or save their life.
Yeah, I just want to say that any individual, that you are the power. You have the power. Don't hand that power to anybody else by letting anyone dictate how your life is going to pan out. So you have that power. Learn some self-care is something I've come up with. Self-care, whatever that is for you, whether that's a walk on the beach, whether that's laying in, whether that's having a night out with friends, having a little holiday. Learn to care for yourself, because if you don't, no one else will. So take some time. That could be for mums out there, it could be one afternoon a week that they just have a walk on the beach on their own, or sit out on the balcony, or sit in the garden or something. Have self-care for you, because if you don't care for yourself, no one else will. But also have that power. Don't give that power to anyone else. So you can be as happy and as healthy as you like. So be positive, stay strong, and keep smiling.
Kate, you just got me.
Oh, don't you cry.
I thought I was going to make it through this whole show today, but
no.
you know what got me is that I have no doubt that sometime between now and 2020, you're going to raise your arms up in the air. And you can even raise them right now, because I know the truth is you are healed. Yes. And here's the intention I'm going to set right here, right now with you. In 2020, you and I are going to be on a stage together somewhere in this world. I don't know if it's Australia, or if it's the UK, or if it's the United States, or anywhere. We're going to be on a stage together, and we're going to hold hands like this right now, and we are both going to be healed 100%. We are going to be healed, and we are going to say it for everybody that's on this journey with us. And with that, yes, we are healed.
Yes, we are healed. I'm done.
All right. We're going
Yeah,
to do this together. 2020, you and I are going to be
You're
somewhere,
on.
whether
You're
I
on.
come to you or you come to me, wherever it is, we're going to meet halfway. We're going to meet
Okay.
all the way, and we are going to
All
go
right.
on stage and we're going to share our stories. And
You're
with
on.
that, I'm excited to have you back in the studio. The next time won't be the last time, but it'll be the end of the fourth quarter. 2 seconds to go in the game, and you're going to be in the end zone celebrating.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
And we're going to do it together. And
Together,
with that,
Jay. I look forward to that day very much. It's just around the corner.
thank you for joining me today on Real People, Real Health. And Kate, you got this, girl.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your energy and your love and your positivity. I really do. Thank you.
Thank you.